Discuss the tech industry environment in California and what strategies characterize this industry. Focus your answer on a suitable case study. California, also known as the Golden State, is a state located on the west coast of the United States. It is the third largest state with the highest population in the U.S. California is one of the most important tech hubs in the world. It is especially renowned for the high-tech industries. There are 49,382 high-tech firms with 1,214,606 employees in California in the first quarter of 2014. In other words, the number of high-tech firms in California accounts for 5% of the national total, while the amount of high-tech employees accounts for 9% of the national total. The figure was even more impressive when it comes to business scale. The number of VC deals in California is 41% of the national total in 2014. To further clarify the factor driver, Silicon Valley contributes 78% of this figure with 1,406 VC deals. Thus, it is obvious that Silicon Valley's investing value outweighs all the other regions in the U.S. In fact, when referring to the high-tech industry in California, people usually speak of Silicon Valley in particular due to the high density of high-tech industries in this area. But do you know where exactly is Silicon Valley? Generally, Silicon Valley is defined as the following cities: Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, Alameda County, and Santa Cruz County. The whole region is about 3 times the size of London, with a population that is just about 40% of London. Industry environment. Recently, the U.S. tops 2015's worldwide high-tech companies ranking because of having 9 of the 10 largest high-tech companies in the world. Unsurprisingly, 8 of those 9 largest high-tech firms are in Silicon Valley. In addition, Silicon Valley ranks the first in terms of startup ecosystem in the world in 2015. As a result, it is without doubt that Silicon Valley has abundant resources along with a big reputation at value that paved the way towards success for high-tech companies, especially for startups. Let's look at this pastel analysis to further analyze the high-tech industry environment in Silicon Valley. First of all, political. The U.S. government is not active in running the valley nowadays. However, it indirectly created ideal economic conditions for high-tech industries by investing heavily in R&D and signing substantial contracts with institutes and companies in Silicon Valley from the early 50s to the late 70s to enhance military research for the World War II and the Korean War. Moving on to economic. Silicon Valley has been the top destination for venture capitalists in the U.S. It captured 45% of the state total VC equity financing deals in the first quarter of 2014. In addition, talents are recruited around the world to make the best use of the capital raised. A recent research indicates that more than 60% of the people working in the science and engineering fields in this region who has a bachelor's degree was not born in the U.S. The valley's educational attainment level is higher than the average of the nation. 47% of adults have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared with 29% for the U.S. as a whole. Moreover, the culture of sharing empowers local business and technology development, which indicates that a positive shared mindset has been cultivated despite the fierce competition in the valley. In terms of the technological aspect, infrastructure requirements are met with the easily accessible hydrogen, liquid gas, and specialized services support from transportation vans, PR firms, and lawyers. Also, Silicon Valley is a big contributor to the number of patent registrations in the U.S. in 2013. Moreover, the mild weather and clean environment certainly trigger galaxies of talents to make Silicon Valley their home for a long-term career. Lastly, Silicon Valley's economy was also boosted by the amendments made to capital gains taxes and pension fund investment in 1978. Industry strategies. The great success of high-tech companies in Silicon Valley has long been researched. For example, Tony Seba proposed 9 fundamental rules of high-tech strategy, while Yofi and Kusumano concluded 5 strategy rules shared by high-tech giant CEOs. In addition to these rules behind the strategies, this research supports that platform, innovation, sustainable profitability, and exploiting Silicon Valley resource or reputation are the main strategies that characterize this industry. Intel case. Among the pioneer high-tech companies in Silicon Valley, Intel is one of the exemplary high-tech strategy practitioners. It was founded by Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore in 1968. Although Intel has a competitive advantage by having the author of Moore's Law running the company, and thus can produce high-performance microprocessors at a lower cost, it struggled a lot to grow its business due to the slow PC development caused by the lack of platform leadership. Fortunately, an idea popped up. Intel Architecture Lab was set up to solve the problem. It developed many standardized products like the Universal Serial Bus, commonly known as USB. The establishment of platform leadership catalyzed the PC market growth since standardization not only enhances compatibility but also serves as a key accelerator of innovation and development. Intel consequently embraced a huge success and began to dominate the market. Nevertheless, Intel did not stop investing in R&D since they know innovation is indispensable to high-tech companies to remain a top player in this highly competitive industry. In order to be capable of constantly upgrading their models and developing revolutionary technologies, their R&D budget increases every year. They also partnered with many firms or institutes of different expertise through either forming strategic alliances or exercise mergers and acquisitions to create synergies and further strengthen the company's innovation competence. Starting off the business with microprocessors, Intel now has expanded to various sectors, including cloud, big data, and smart wearable devices based on its advanced integrated digital technology platform. As the business grows larger, more funding is needed. Intel offers strong cash returns that increases every year in order to attract more investors. Like other high-tech companies in Silicon Valley, Intel also exploits the valley's resources and global reputation to maximize the company's opportunity to survive and succeed in the aggressive high-tech market. In conclusion, Silicon Valley's unique culture and ample resources make it remain a premier destination for the high-tech industry. Startups particularly favor this place. Evidence can be drawn from data about startup ecosystem size and success rate. However, unlike well-established companies in the Silicon Valley like Intel, new startups apply all high-tech industry strategies like platform, innovation, and exploiting Silicon Valley resource strategies, except the sustainable profitability strategy. Most of them aim to be acquired by other big companies and thus focus on increasing number of users instead of developing a proper profitability scheme. It seems like many of them are applying the greater fool strategy nowadays. People invest because they believe that someone else will be willing to pay more for their shares. Hints can be drawn from these two charts. Many analysts believe that most of the companies which went for an IPO recently are overvalued. As the chart indicated, value of venture-backed companies in the U.S. public company market is getting higher and higher, reaching the peak of the dot-com bubble in the year 2000. Dr. Roderick's Faces of Bubble was widely syndicated during the global financial crisis around 2007 to 2008. Now, it is also applied by some analysts to describe the high-tech hype in Silicon Valley. Therefore, in order to avoid the impending bubble rage, Actions should be taken to curb the bad behaviors and retain the competitive advantages of high-tech industries in Silicon Valley.